Peace and blessings. Welcome to the Cold World Podcast. I'm your host, DVJ, and on my podcast, we discuss community, race, life, politics, and everything in between. Please take the time out and enjoy the podcast.
And on today's episode, Michelle and I will be talking equality, race, and stereotypes. Please enjoy episode number 4. And before we kick it off, enjoy the Tim Wise clip.
Let me say that again. The whole history of America is the history of rich white men telling not rich white people that their enemies are black and brown. It starts in the colonies.
But I don't see no problem with that, though. I don't get offended when people get upset or whatever when people say black people are more athletic or whatever. We are. That's just genetics. That's biology or whatever you want to call
so
that
I
shit.
just think it's
That
a
ain't.
compliment.
It is. It should be. But it's some black people that think that's an insult. Like I said, unless there's a bullshit comment attached to it, no one should be offended by that. Well, not shouldn't be or whatever. But
Right.
shit. But like you were saying, it's a stereotype that all Asians are smart, or that they all eat rice.
Right.
That they live off rice and shit all the time. Or what are some other ones we were saying? Oh, here's one. Here's a stereotype about how white people smell like dogs when they get out the shower. Sometimes they stink. That's a stereotype.
Yeah.
Or that they don't, or that they can't dance, like we were saying, that they don't have no rhythm. A lot of white people do have some rhythm. Because like even on the NBA games, on the NFL and stuff like that, the sideline dancer, the cheerleader, some of them would be white.
Yeah.
And they got rhythm. They got some real rhythm and shit. And a lot of them white girls, they'll be messing with black dudes and shit. And then a lot of them white men, they don't like that though. That ain't no stereotype. I think more white people, white men, don't like seeing black dudes with white women. They don't like seeing that. At least 51%. So you're saying when we go out in public, you don't ever feel uncomfortable if we're in a all white place and it's me and you walking up in there. You're trying to tell me that you don't think no white man or even a white woman is in their head like, what the fuck are they doing together?
Right.
Stereotype about like a white person. Now, if they were to come up to me and be like, "Dog, why you eat so much water? Why do black people eat so much watermelon?" Like some shit like that, I would be offended by that.
Right.
But I love watermelon. Like I'm saying, like if I was somewhere. Like, let's say I went to an event with you, right? And it was mostly all white people there or something like that, and they had watermelon, I would not eat it. I would eat that shit. Like, when I went up to get, my plate or whatever, I would go get watermelon. and eat the seeds and everything. I don't care. I wouldn't be like feeling weird or feeling like the white people are going to be like, damn, if they see me going to grab watermelon, like, I ain't going to be feeling weird like, damn, this all like black dude, he's going for the watermelon. But you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Or like we're the thing, and like we were sitting there, right, and I got my plate. We had an all white buffet or something, and I got my plate. And then I sat down, right, and I was eating, and then like one of the white dudes or white woman was like, hey, you know we have watermelon. Did you see the watermelon? I'd be pissed. I'd probably end up getting pissed up off. There'd be some furniture moving. Well, what do you think? Is that right? Do you think I'm racist sometimes? Be honest with me.
I think sometimes.
Towards who? Do you think I make racist comments towards?
I wouldn't say.
Or do you think I just straight up, like, okay, I'm sorry.
Well, then there's the debate if it's racist or prejudice, right?
Oh yeah, that's it.
Because like, can black people be racist, right?
And that is the.
But if you are hating on
Well, we normally can't hold people down.
But if you're hating on another race, that's racist. If you're
I think
looking at
black
the
people
broad,
can be racist in moments. But not in totality. Not in generally. We're not in a position where we can just, like, you know what I mean? Hold somebody down financial. All that is kind of true. But in most of our situations, yeah. And you can make racist comments. Like, I can be racist towards a white person or towards white people.
And I think sometimes you are. I'm just being honest.
Okay. Well,
but I think, in your defense, and I'm speaking for you, but I think it's due to your experiences. Had you not gone into the correctional community, would your viewpoints be the same? Or had Angie's grandma not hated on you, because that's where it kind of started?
My experience with racial shit as far as...
Right. Like, so had Angie's family just welcomed you with open arms, or just not had been so racist? You know, they just didn't like you because you were older than her and kept getting her pregnant. It had nothing to do with the color of your skin. That just didn't help, right?
Oh, it did.
I know. I'm saying,
right.
If there was never any negativity regarding your race, it was just your relationship, then you might not feel that way.
About them. About her.
Right, but I think those experiences that you had kind of made you feel a certain way, so then when somebody acts a certain way, watch out for your glasses, you're a little triggered by that. Because of how you were treated.
Some of that.
Like, you may not realize it.
Some of that could be, but I think even at a younger age, though, I was aware.
Right.
I was aware of my surroundings and who I was learning from. I'm talking about in school. I was seeing who, like, most of my teachers looked like. You know what I'm saying? I saw, like, when I was watching TV, like, who most of the people were on TV. No matter what it was I was watching, they really looked like me.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
because I feel like if you hadn't have been dismissed by white people as a black person, you probably wouldn't, like, because sometimes you're like, oh, that's racist, or they're racist, or what, and now I may just be like, hey, I love everybody, so I have a total polar opposite opinion of other people than you do. You're more aware of your I don't want to say hypersensitive to it, but
well, I know what a lot of these
be.
white people think about me and how they really feel
But
about
do
me.
you know
I
how
do.
those
I'm gonna tell you,
people think?
I do, because a lot of them are the ones when I was in prison and shit. Those are the ones in there locking me up, telling me when to go to bed,
Correct,
when to eat,
correct.
when to sleep.
So,
and when I was about to go home and on my way out, they were telling I'll see you in 6 months.
right. So if
Those
you
are
did
the
not
ones.
have... So,
Because some of them people end up being
right.
cops and everything.
So if you didn't have those correctional communications, you may not feel that way when you're out and about.
I would maybe be as hypersensitive
You are
about stuff,
very...
but I'd still be in tune with who the hell
Like
I am.
if somebody cuts you off, or like your go-to is...
That's just a person issue, though, in general with people.
But I
that
feel
ain't
like-
race attached to that.
No, but I feel like your first go-to is, oh, that white lady. But
you're right
you
sometimes.
wouldn't,
And it ain't always racial.
but think about it. If I were to attach the race when complaining about people,
Okay, see.
so if a black person cut me off, or like how that white lady was on her phone arguing, not paying attention. So if it was a black person, and I was like, ugh, because you said, did you say white bitch?
Maybe.
You might have. Okay, so if I was like, oh, that black bitch was arguing on her phone, sounds different, right? But same thing. I'm like attaching their race to their behavior. Because you were attaching,
Well, with
it had nothing to do with what she looked
Well, see,
like. Absolutely nothing.
here's the difference with that, though. In my mind, it is, or either, well, it either is race, or in my mind, to me it is, or whatever. But here's the difference. When it's a white lady saying that, to me, I take it personally.
Correct.
Because in my mind, and a lot of times, I feel that they feel that way, like that they should be first. Like, for example, like if you're at like a four-way stop sign, you're driving or whatever, four-way stop sign, and you might get there first. It might be a white lady. She might pull up, maybe a tab behind you. She'll go first. She'll try to dot out first.
That's what you're saying.
And she's looking at you like, oh, black dude, like, I'm white lady, like, he's beneath me. I'm going first. But, like, why would she just go first? Like, why wouldn't she? If she knew I was there first, why wouldn't she just wait? There's no rush. It's just us.
Right, but what I'm saying is you're just assuming that with white people, and I think it's because of
I am
past
assuming it, but I really believe that in my heart, that they feel that way. Some, not all. Some. I do. I truly feel that way.
Okay, so I don't feel this way, but I'm going to turn it around.
It's a judgment, but I truly feel that in my heart.
Correct.
It's both.
But, and you are 1,000% entitled to how you feel and think. Now, but turn it around, and I don't feel this way at all. So if I was like, if I attached black or Indian or Hispanic to an occurrence, it's going to come off racist if I say it. Correct?
Well, for sure.
The instances where you attach white to whatever's happening, if I did the same thing, you would be like, hello.
Well, yeah, we'll just chalk that up to white people don't get to say certain things. It's just like in the stand-up comedy world.
And
black people, we're the only ones that can get up there and talk about race.
But that's my point.
No white person's going to get up there and say nothing to.
Right, but that's my point.
They just know not to.
So if a white person attaches the race to it, it then becomes a racist comment.
Like, leave us alone. Leave black people alone.
Right, but...
Because we don't fuck with them. We don't fuck with white people, and that's the thing. They're always bothering us and shit. I'm sorry, go ahead.
But don't you think in order to move forward as a group of people, as Americans...
You mean in everyone?
Totality, no matter what you look like, that whole attachment has to fade out.
It does.
So when that lady was driving and arguing on the phone, you could have just said, oh, that lady's fucking arguing on the phone. How can she even concentrate on the road? It doesn't matter what color she is. Because you've seen every color under the sun argue on the phone in a vehicle, right? So in that moment, it literally had nothing to do with what she looked like.
Okay, I can roll with that one on. But, like I said, there's no but I know it's a judgment, but like I said, in my heart, and like you said, with my experience.
But you wouldn't want someone judging you.
Well, it'd be the same thing, too, like if white people were all in a black environment. You know what I'm saying? They might be feeling awkward or...
Like, see, I don't experience that because of who you
are, because right. You're comfortable and you're
just who I am, and because I grew up, like my grade school was probably 50-50.
Yeah, white people, they start acting weird when they get around black people. So
I feel like Nicolay was, there was a blend. I don't think it was 50-50, but there was definitely maybe...
You mean white to black?
Yeah.
70-30.
I was just going to say between 60 to 70 and 30 to 40. But the people that I hung out with, I don't hang out with people that talk like that or think like that.
Right.
So it's not even in my orbit.
Or that you know.
Well, they definitely know how I feel, so they won't be free about talking like that. But when you feel a certain way, you can't necessarily, it comes out.
It just does.
And I don't experience that with the people that I associate with because I give off that vibe. I'm not cool with that.
You do give that vibe off, and I love it.
Like, it doesn't matter.
To you.
To me, it does not matter. And I wish other people felt
like
that way. Now, you had negative experiences with the white adult male, okay? Now
them calling me nigger and shit.
Correct.
And I said, I'm just going to see my girl.
And you said, like, Angie's grandmother had a negative experience with a black person.
So they started
and so that just stuck with her.
Before she even laid eyes on me and
correct.
Looked at like.
So it had nothing to do with you. It was that experience, whatever trauma she experienced, a negative occurrence, she just carried that through her life and couldn't let that go and compartmentalize that was one instance and not an entire race.
See, that's the thing. I couldn't disrupt or harm her life in any way or alter her life in any kind of way. I was the one, and me and Angie were the one having to sneak around and do all this stuff to be together and all this shit. They were fine. So we could both feel negatively about each other, but she had more control over the situation. In a lot of different ways. Her grandmother and her family.
Right.
We had to sneak out, had to hide under vanity and all, in and out of all that bullshit. But I'm saying, like, even as far as, like, police, if I were to went out there, or we would just say we were, get into a little argument or something like that, they're going to call the police. Who's going to jail? A little black kid.
Right.
Like, all that.
And that's society. Yes.
So that's what I'm saying. Like, so I could call her a white bitch, fuck you old white lady or whatever, and that's all she's just going to feel a certain way about me calling her them names. She'll get over that at some point, but she could kind of ruin my life a little more, actually.
Right.
That's what I'm saying, like...
because of the
dominance.
The dominant, just the historical.
All I can do is say words and make her, he called me this. She can call the police on me. She could, all this other kind of stuff.
So you guys had to tread lightly because you knew that you and Angie both knew that was out there hanging out, that her family could cause trouble.
Because I remember Aunt Barbara had even told me one time, way back then when I first started messing with Angie, she was like, be careful, mess around out there, you know what I'm saying? She didn't say with them white people, but now I get it. That's what she was saying without saying it.
Right.
She was saying, like, if something happens, like, you're going to...
Because I'm sure she was probably aware.
If you're going out there to that little white community to see that white girl, if something jumps off, them little brown, black asses going to jail are going to get in trouble.
Right.
And they're going to still be sitting at home, and that's just going to be it.
Right. economic status is, that is always an underlying thought with minorities that anything could change at any moment.
We're not going to be the minority soon.
But I'm just saying, like, your everyday thinking, you know.
But I mean, I know everything isn't racial. I mean, like, you should, like, that should just be a given. We all know that, like, you know what I'm saying? But in today's world, a lot of stuff is or can be attached to it. Just by the way someone looks at you or how they give you service, or sometimes the way they speak to you, it is sometimes.
And it is hard to distinguish if they're just a rude-ass person or if it has something to do with the color of your skin. Because I've experienced bad service, rude, whatever.
Or like you're talking about just being a woman, too.
Well, yeah. Just like if you're dealing with like a male counterpart, always in the back of my head, I am aware that I have to conduct myself a certain way because like when I get really mad, I may tear up. Well, that's a weakness.